USDA has just completed its Census of Agriculture. We have a snapshot of the trends in the cattle industry in this week's Market Watch.
Market Watch, brought to you by Fort Dodge Animal Health.
Joining us now is Bill Meyer, Director of the Colorado Field Office of the National Agricultural Statistics Service. Thanks for coming and seeing us today, Bill.
Thanks for having me here.
You bet. I understand that the Census of Agriculture is just out. Tell us a little bit about what the census is actually all about.
All right. Well, the census is the nation's largest agricultural information gathering project. We do it every 5 years, and we send a form to every known farm and ranch operator in the U.S., and it collects information on number of farms and ranch types, operation demographics, production practices, income and expenses. Just a whole lot of data is gathered.
That's great. Specifically, what is it telling us about beef cattle operations in the United States?
Well, there's a lot of information we collect on the cattle industry, but some of the pieces I thought of, for instance, for the first time, the number of operations in the U.S. dropped below 1 million that had beef cattle. There's the feedlots with 2,500 or more head accounted for nearly 79% of the sales of the fed cattle market. Of all the producers, 30% of all agricultural producers consider themselves a beef cattle operation.
So a lot of folks out there that have some sort of beef enterprise.
Correct.
That's
yes.
great.
Yeah.
And from a broad perspective across agriculture, do you see a continuation of old trends in this year's census, or are there some new trends emerging?
Well, a lot of old. There was one difference this year. I think NASS did a better job of finding some smaller operations. So overall, the number of operations went up slightly from 2002. But as I stated, the number of cattle operations did decrease slightly. The smaller operations, like 10 to 499 cattle, those numbers dropped, while those with 500 or more went up. One thing we did find that was interesting are what we call quote-unquote lifestyle farms with 1 to 9 cattle. That number went up significantly.
Gosh, a lot of folks in that rural Politan area that have a few livestock as well as the rural lifestyle. Thanks for joining us today, Bill. We really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me.
You bet. For more information on the agricultural census, visit our website at cattlemantocattleman.org.